So please join me in taking a deep breath. Everybody go. And out. Thank you. And for joining me today in Dancing Decoloniality, Transforming Self in Cityscapes, her stories of racialized dancers in Vancouver. Join me in a dance, a non-linear engagement, a story of place, spaces, hearts, bodies, relationships, and hard learnings. Touch the chair underneath you, feel your feet on the floor, and join in this space together. Listen to some of my hard learnings, and thank you for being here. So I'm going to take you through motivational factors of self and collective, of the personal and societal. Please note the background of fabrics, and I'll return to this image shortly. The daughter of immigrant settlers, a Chilean exile and a Peruvian woman that raised me as a single mother. Mixed race with the blood of colonized and colonizer peoples, I've always lived on the margins, straddled borders, nationalities, and been ni de allá ni de acá, neither from here, neither from here. Oops, I think we went from the last one. But I was drawn to dance as a way to express myself in ways that I couldn't with my Spanglish and my dark skin, and traditional Peruvian dance became a way to cope with cultural loss, finding culture, coping with in and exclusions, and misbelonging. Perhaps not intentionally became a dance leader myself, and the fabrics. Let's imagine textiles as a visualization of dance and a representation of its complexity, of its tactility and affect. In teaching and performing Indigenous and Afro-Creole, Peruvian, and Latin American dances, I began to realize how I was sustaining colonially established racial, class, and gender norms through erroneous costume selections, choreographic decisions, etc. And I began to understand my role here more critically. So that photo for me is my favorite post-show picture of us women. It's us hugging and smiling and coming together. But why does it move me to tears? Because like this Andean weaving, we had so many differences, racial, class, nationality, and sexual realities. We felt and understood the praxis of traditions differently, even in clashing ways, and our egos were exposed. So what is this project that I'm developing? It's a project that focuses on the decolonial power of dance and its possibilities for undoing intersecting forms of oppression. What is it engaging? It's engaging our deep experiences. It's engaging the experiences of women like myself and some of the women that I see here that have joined me today in this discussion. Our complexities, our emotions. And as you can see, it's a loaded project. Even how I engage the term traditional is contentious and complex, but overall I want to highlight that my approach to view of dance is that it's an embodied, politically loaded statement that sometimes does, sometimes doesn't shut down dissonances and discordances. What grounds and frames this project? This question makes me laugh. Because for academics, it's hard to digest it. It's the actual praxis. It's not starting with the theory, but it's starting with the bodies, with us women, with what we do with our experiences. It's looking at our experiences of dance as pedagogy. But of course, there are some scholars that through some accumulated or struggled for privilege have been published, like Michael D'Angeli. I saw her perform at the Dance Center, and in exchanging with her, I learned so much. Her research looks at artistic processes and acts of self-determination and how to really claim back and own and claim sovereignty over what's theirs. Victoria Santa Cruz, the mother of Afro-Peruvian dance and theater, choreographer and composer. According to Victoria, to discover rhythm and our impact through movement is to counter colonizing intellect. Sitara Tobani, and her book, The Indian Classical Dance and the Making of Post-Colonial National Identities, Dancing on Empire's Stage. This was recently published in 2017, and I'm working on a review. In her academic work and artistic practice, she questions essentializing discourses by unpacking complex histories and relations of power that produce them. She pays special attention to the festival as sites where static national multiculturalism is enacted and coloniality sustained. Monica Rojas, born in Lima, and she works in Seattle, and I'm blessed to have her on my committee. I've gone across border to participate in workshops with her. And so I try to take up with my project as well her call for a proliferation of autoethnographic passes to keep unpacking and educating consciousness-raising efforts of Peruvian artists and activists. And here Henry Daniel, who we have with us, who's based in SFU, and he specialized in performance practice as research. So I am going to draw from some men that are active here in Vancouver, racialized men, to look at how actual engagement with dance and performance can enrich our understanding. And here what we have is the city of Vancouver. The publications on dance are quite limited, especially that draw or that focus on the experiences of racialized women. The Equity Office of Canada Council for the Arts has produced some dance mapping studies, but in exchanges with them, they've personally told me that they don't or cannot inquire directly into race, gender, class, age, nor ability. So what would it look like if we actually took the hearts, minds, bodies, spirits, and beings that matter, the other knowledges, into consideration? What would it look like if we took our stories and our experiences, our very hard learnings and engagements with resources to think of a creative city strategy or what multiculturalism really is in Vancouver? And how am I going to create or gather this knowledge? I mean, it really is going to be with the dancers, most of which I already know myself, through co-creation and observation, individual focus group interviews, narrative writing, and short documentary film. And of course, the process already started, and it's going to be quite a long one. And it involves me exposing a lot of fears and exploring what ego means as well. And I do have a slide for acknowledgements here because all of these people have played a role in the development of self, but also in a critical learning of what it means to be a scholar here in Vancouver and rethink ways of engagement. Thank you.